Hi, today we are going to talk about for sale by owners or properties which are directly being sold by the owners themselves. Now in the real estate market, you find a lot of properties which are being sold by various real estate agents, and then there is a certain set of properties which are actually sold by the owners themselves. When we talk of Indian real estate, we have this particular situation that developers are trying to sell their properties themselves in the real estate market. So what has happened is they have practically become what I would call sales or marketing agents, and they have forgotten that their core responsibility or primary duty is to act as what you would call construction people. So from construction people, they are now acting as real estate agents or people who are actually going to sell real estate. And that's where you are losing a big opportunity by allowing them to play this particular role. The idea is, if we all keep on competing with other real estate agents, and if we try to work on the same inventory that these real estate agents are working on, then probably we are forgetting that our biggest competition is actually from people who are actually going to sell their homes directly by themselves. And be it developers or individual sellers, all of them are actually today trying to sell their homes themselves, and that comprises of more than 50% of the market. So if you are as a real estate agent and believe that other real estate agents are actually your competition, then probably your competition is not other real estate agents, but your competition is actually people who are selling their homes themselves or selling their apartments themselves. And that's what we want to actually focus on. So who are the people who actually today in the market are the people who actually are selling their homes by themselves? They could be typically ex-real estate agents, they could be developers, they are people who believe that selling as art, as a skill is an easy skill which can be mastered and which can be done. They personally believe that they have probably had one bad experience with another real estate agent, and that's where they feel that, okay, rather than working with more real estate agents, I would do this job myself. Maybe they are retired people, and that's where they feel that, okay, they know they have nothing else to do, and so they might probably want to just do this as an activity. Probably their financial situation is bad, and probably they are considering that, okay, if we are just wanting to sell our home, we might be able to do it accordingly, and we might save maybe a few percentage points in terms of ensuring that we are able to save a few rupees. So the whole idea is these are people who ultimately do not believe or value the role of the real estate agent and the role of the person who is actually going to go forward and do this entire thing. So that's where we have to come in as real estate agents, and we have to actually showcase our value, showcase our strength as to how we can actually help them sell their home at a better price. And that's where we as a real estate agent have to add value into the transaction. Now what are these people actually looking from? So people who are, what you would say, who are having a property of a for sale by owner, where you would say that the owner is selling his home directly. What are they actually looking to? They are looking for a large buyer pool. So they actually want to have agents who are working with a lot of buyers, and whilst working with them, they want to have the feeling that yes, if I sell my home with this person, then I know that he has a lot of buyers, and so there is a probability that my home will get sold faster. They are also looking for people who have excellent negotiation skills. See, what happens is, as individual sellers, they always have this particular situation wherein they are not able to sell their home at a high price. And selling is something where you want to achieve the maximum price possible. As we discussed earlier, it could be a person who is in a financial crunch, and that's where you want to sell. So your financial negotiation skills can be a clincher in terms of getting you the listing deal, because that's what the person on the other side is actually looking for. Are you a good negotiator? And that's where he is actually trying to bring in the expertise and the knowledge to actually take it forward. Similarly, we also have to understand that he is looking about your knowledge of the market, about your property that you are looking to sell. So say for example, you are working in a geographic farm, you are working in a small niche area, be it in terms of types of properties or maybe in terms of specific market segment that you are focusing on, then all of these specific things is what the seller is actually looking. That okay, is he a person who understands my market? Is he a person who understands the way the real estate operates in my area? Or does he actually understand that what kind of property I am looking to sell? And based on all these basic understandings, it is what he actually is going to trust you, that okay, I want to work with this real estate agent or not. Now you need to understand one very basic thing, that when you open the newspapers, when you open Magic Bricks or online portals, or you go to maybe classified portals like say OLX or Quicker and all these places, you'll find a lot of owners who have listed their properties which they want to sell and which they want to actually keep on listing, so that they have actually put them over there so that it can be sold. So you need to contact all these people. So every day morning maybe you are opening up the newspaper and finding out all the properties that are listed directly by the owners. You are opening up Magic Bricks and finding out maybe the latest properties which are put up by owners, or maybe classified portals, or maybe you are looking at for sale signs which are put up in the local neighborhood. So all of this kind of gives an indication that these are properties which are directly put up by owners for selling in the local market, and these properties are ultimately which you are targeting when we say that for sale by owners. So for every 5 properties that are, say for example, for sale by owner properties, and you contact them that okay, this is the property we want to actually work on and we want a mandate on this particular property, we have focused a lot on exclusive mandates, and that's where we talk about that property. So for every 5 contacts or touch points that you make with one particular type of segment, so say for sale by owners, then say for example you get just 1 meeting out of that. And for every 15 to 20 meetings, you can expect that you will get 1 exclusive mandate listing out of the whole thing. And that is enough for you, what I would say, that because you have got an exclusive mandate listing, automatically the chances that you will close a transaction out of the whole thing is going to be much higher than probably you working on any X number of mandated properties across the market. So say for example, what your target should be, that every day in the morning you should be able to generate say once or twice a week in your specific target segment. Say for example, you are focusing on apartments in a particular area of a particular city, then within that area and within that particular city you want to find out through all the various sources, online, offline, print media, direct flex banners put up by owners, and you are actually trying to find out all the possible properties which can actually be used by you as a list for sale by owner properties, and then you focus on these properties to actually take it forward and take forward the whole transaction process. So you need to do your homework really well, and when we say you need to do your homework really well, you need to be clearly aware that what segment and geography you are able to focus on. You cannot just pick up any property just because it's a for sale by owner property, and you cannot just pick up any geography, because a property which is like 20-30 kilometers away from your place does not make any sense, because that kind of is not going to help you in any way possible, and that's just going to add into your hard work, but it will not be any way related to your smart work. So all you need to do is find out in your specific geography, specific price segment, and the type of properties that you want to serve, what kind of market do you want to achieve, and based on that you want to actually take it forward by ensuring that you get specific listings in this particular segment itself, so that you can accordingly take it forward. Moving on, you need to build a strategic plan to actually target these for sale by owners, and you need to be very specific as to what time and what activities you will be doing to target them. So say for example, you are targeting them say once a week, and you once a week sit down and find out all these properties, and then you have specific literature, maybe a 1-page article which talks about why selling the home by oneself is not as easy as probably doing it with a real estate agent. And based on that, you actually take a understanding from the seller and explain the seller and take an appointment, sit with him, explain the whole process, and then get a listing out of the whole thing, so that you are able to actually take it forward. So the whole idea is that out of the meetings that you are taking with him, taking with the sellers, you want to get ultimately your listing appointments and preview appointments. And when we talk about listing appointments and preview appointments, what you actually want to do is you want to see the home, build rapport with the seller, you want to actually understand the nuances of the property, and then give them your valuable suggestions as to how the property can be sold for a higher price, how the property can achieve a larger value or better value because of maybe small improvements or suggestions that you are going to put in, which can be used by the seller to actually sell his home for a larger value. So all of that combined together is ultimately what leads to what you would call a targeted method or a strategy for building your rapport or building your customer base of people who are actually trying to sell their homes by themselves, which you want to actually instead start focusing on, and then build on a particular type of inventory and create one more source of lead generation, which ultimately leads to what I would call more transactions. Thank you very much for your time.